welcome to another edition of Gore War. This week on the show, I hope you can hold your breath for long enough, because we're going to be diving into two nautical hauntings to see which one can delve deeper into the pits of fear. It's Ghost Ship versus Below. That works?
Yeah, it was. So Below is set in 1943 and takes place on a submarine known as the SS Tiger Shark. So what happens is the submarine happens upon some stranded people in the water, they take them in, and well, creepy things kind of ensue. The things that happen and the story that kind of takes place is, well, most of it is up to your interpretation.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The main plot of the movie is that the captain and some of his crew have a little secret that they're kind of keeping away, and one of the people that was stranded in the water slowly starts to put together pieces as to what is actually going on. The paranormal entity which has infiltrated the submarine and basically grounded it at the bottom of the ocean. Not only that, but they have a German U-boat above them as well, dropping depth charges and grappling hooks to try and kill them as well. Nowhere is safe for them at the moment, and until they solve the mystery that everyone on the higher up seems to be trying to keep from them, they're not going to get anywhere. Ghost Ship is a much more action-orientated haunting movie. What we have here, we have a team of deep-sea salvagers, basically a ragtag group of legalized pirates, I suppose you can say. Their next job revolves around this cruise liner that went missing in the 60s. Now we do get a flashback at the beginning of the movie that showed somewhat the fate of said cruise liner. Some accident occurred that basically killed the entire crew, and it gets developed further along as the movie goes into it that it apparently turns out it wasn't an accident at all. So they find the cruise liner, they dock aboard, they notice a couple of technical problems which they can fix up and basically get back to shore. Unfortunately, without any suspense at all, we're thrown right into the paranormal, which separates it completely from Below, which built up great levels of suspense, maybe to the levels of being a bit slow to begin with. Yeah. A
problem which I feel Ghost Ship doesn't fall under.
I feel like with Ghost Ship, it's more like a giant neon sign saying "Ghosts this way."
Yeah. We see them in the first 10 minutes of the film.
Well, even when you walk in the ship straight into the story, and those blocks move in that way, and it's like welcome, and it's like
well,
the movie is like
here.
The movie's like, hello, we have ghosts, by the way. Just want to remind the viewer.
So as you expect, it's obviously not an easy voyage for the salvagers. It's not a cut and clean operation, as numerous members of their crew begin being capped off in increasingly gruesome ways. But you also find out it's equally not a pleasant voyage for the ghosts as well, who are actually trapped aboard the ships themselves. And that opens up the real mystery of the movie. This is basically another Paranormal Activity versus Grave Encounter story. The only difference here is when we compared those two, we were comparing them as found footage movies, which put it definitely in Paranormal Activity's favour.
Yeah.
But you go into this wanting to be scared. You go into this wanting to be entertained. Both movies do offer that.
They do.
Quite strongly. But which one left a more lasting impression on you? Which one do you feel... Basically, which one did you enjoy more?
I think that it's tough because I enjoyed Ghost Ship because it was ridiculously fun. But with Below, I enjoyed it because I had no clue what was going on.
Exactly.
Right until the end. And I think what Ghost Ship does is it actually goes one step too extreme, and it takes a lot of textbook stuff from horror.
Yeah, there's a lot of cliches.
Yeah, whereas Below's more, I guess, you just don't know what direction it's going in, because one minute it does, like, particularly in the scene where they're inside the submarine and they see the face, and I was like, that was probably the most extreme measure they went, apart from when he sees the reflection of himself. But it's all about hallucination.
It's a much more like an interactive experience.
Yeah.
Because you can take what you want from it.
Yeah.
And I feel that gives it a few more points.
I think it does. I think Below is above Ghost Ship in that regard.
Alright, so we'll give points to Below for story. Ghost Ship is an extreme case, and it lets you know right off the bat that this is going to be an action-packed, very flashy movie that's not going to hold anything back, and it's not going to try and be subtle like Below. Things like just the opening let us know what we were in for, particularly with the steel wire scene going through everyone. It did look good. There were a lot of like really good practical effects, a lot of really convincing gore effects used in that scene. So when they used CG, it did look a bit crappy. And all that happened in the span of 5 minutes. We had the people being cut in half, which looked great, and then the guy's head fell off, which looked rubbish. It gave us a benchmark, and then went below itself, and then sort of zigzagged as the movie went on.
I mean, they were doing the visual effects more for fun. Yeah. And really so for more realism.
And it is a fun movie.
Yeah.
It is definitely a fun movie, and if you're going in there for action and just ridiculousness, then yeah, Ghost Ship does its job pretty damn well.
Yeah.
The soundtrack complements the visual effects as well. We have a lot of rock and metal songs playing throughout the film.
That's kind of where the divide is. But I think what we're going to go with, all in all, is the fact that Ghost Ship is more fun than the visual department.
It is. I mean, while Below is a superior film as far as storytelling goes, it doesn't give you a whole lot of visual entertainment, to be honest. I mean, that plays towards its subtlety edge, which is great, but maybe feels a bit slow at times, and you're waiting for a payoff. And while you get one story-wise, I mean, the only real standout moments as far as visual entertainment goes for Below is, I think, really the reflection scene, where the reflection lags.
Yeah, you really like that.
I did. I really enjoyed that scene, and that was probably one of the scariest parts of the movie as far as ghost-wise goes. Because still, while we're left with an interpretation that there may not have been a ghost at all, and they were just breathing in hydrogen all that time, and hallucinating. I mean, you're still waiting for something really cool to happen.
It's such a simple and cheap effect, but to say that it was cheap in this movie, like it doesn't come off cheap. It's just nice and subtle, so it's enough. But with Ghost Ship, it's just the right kind of
You're never
fun.
bored with Ghost Ship.
You're not, because it's really extreme.
And you can complain with Ghost Ship's stupidity, but you're never
bored.
bored.
Yeah, definitely. We had fun watching that.
We did. So as far as entertainment on the visual side goes, it may be a contradiction, but it's just the way we feel. I think Ghost Ship is going to take it for effects.
So the characters in Below, there's actually quite a few characters.
Yeah, I mean, as far as cast-wise goes, there is a large cast, but
there is the main captain,
played by the Star Trek captain.
Oh yeah. Then there's the perished captain, if you will. Then we've got the second in command. We've got the chick who's out for answers, and we also have.
We have comic reliefs.
I guess there was the guy in the turtleneck sweater, which didn't really do much except getting hit in their head with a wrench. And then Zach Galifianakis is just fucking in there. I feel like he just sort of walked on set and was just like, can I walk on here and be a voodoo witch doctor? And that was the only bit that put me off about Below a little bit, because I was like, it doesn't seem like he was in the right fucking movie to begin
This is a World War II submarine. It's a bit weird for. He didn't really seem to have a position as well.
He didn't bring anything to the story, even when he came out at the end of the movie as a character that was still there. I was like, I didn't really. Yeah, I was like, why does he still need to be? Does he need to go on a hangover? I got no clue.
I feel when it comes to the captain, straight off the bat, you begin the story actually quite liking him. He's a very authoritative character, but he's a good man. You get that sense. And particularly when he ends up shooting that German character. I mean, you feel, especially when he reached for the knife in the first place, you feel like you sympathise with him because you feel like he didn't have a choice.
He took the shot, he did what he had to do.
Yeah. But as the movie progresses, you begin to see threads of doubt about his character as well. And that continues to the very end.
It's very true.
To be honest, on that regard, to give a flip side to that regard, you'd expect him to be the main character, but since we know that we have a secondary main character in that that lieutenant, that adds to the feel that, okay, maybe we can't trust him entirely. And in the end, we do have a a quite diverse cast as well, as I mentioned. Like we have the stern captain with a lot of secrets. We have the main characters who were a little bit bland, I suppose. I mean, they didn't really have a whole lot of involvement.
No.
As far as like development.
I didn't mind if they were getting killed off.
Yeah. And we have a lot of side characters as well. Some funny ones, some ones we kind of want to see die. But yeah, there was a large, diverse group, and it made it feel a little, quite fresh.
Yeah.
Ghost Ship did not have a very diverse group of characters. Everyone was very one-dimensional. We had the father figure captain,
who was basically Scarface.
Yeah, yeah. He's the guy who played the devil in The End of Days, so he had that role down. We have the jockey guys. Carl Urban was among them.
Yeah, apparently.
They didn't have any development. They were just there to be like the big brother jerks to the female protagonists, like little or mother role, I suppose you could say. And then we have the main protagonist, who is a female, and she lets us know this quite heavily, and not through, I know,
it's Michelle Rodriguez. It's Michelle Rodriguez.
It's the cheap man's Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah.
It's a
basically.
Yeah. She wasn't there to be eye candy. She was there to be, I'm an independent woman, and I will punch your teeth out if you say otherwise. Desmond Harrington also returns to Gore War. He plays the seaplane pilot who lets them know about the ship in the first place, who gives them the job. And he plays the sort of bumbling, nerdy character in a way. So the guy who's always in everybody's way. And I suppose you're supposed to believe for the whole movie that that's sort of his character. He's just going to be that. Also, he attempts to have some kind of romantic interest with Michelle Rodriguez's character. There wasn't development on anyone, to be honest. Not even, at least of all the ghosts. I mean, they were there just to be ghosts.
Which made everybody seem expendable.
Yeah, well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
This was basically set up as a slasher movie. And you didn't care about anyone, so you didn't care about them getting knocked off. So there was no involvement in these characters. So we didn't care. Below for characters, easy peasy. Ghost Ship is definitely a fun movie. I mean, it's ridiculous, it's stupidly written, and it's a dumb film.
Yeah.
But it's a fun movie, and it's fun to watch with friends and just poke fun at.
Yeah.
But for a more rewarding cinematic experience, Below definitely has it, because it leaves a much larger impression on you. You feel a lot more for the characters. It's something that hasn't been done a billion times before, if not for the fact that Ghost Ship was set on a ghost ship. It's basically just the same as any bog standard haunted house movie.
Yeah, I think when you look at a movie like Ghost Ship, we know who's going to get knocked off, we kind of have an idea, we know what's going to happen, whereas Below is a suspense type of film, and it's very, very hard to pull off good suspense, and they managed to put all these subtle things into play without being too obvious.
They did. Anyone who just wants to watch a movie and enjoy it can watch Ghost Ship, and they might feel bored with Below.
Yeah.
But as critics looking for that something a bit more, I feel Below has it in the bag, so Below takes it. And that's all we have time for this week on Gore War. If you have a battle you'd like us to talk about, leave it in the comments below. So, I've been Fedora.
I have that sinking feeling.
You do indeed, sir. And we'll see you next time. Good night. Shit's leaving.
Shit's leaving.